What's going on, my fellow troops? My name is Xavvo and welcome back to a brand new video. So today, we are going to be getting Orion. Yes, I know. Literally last video, we just got Polyatomic and here we are getting Orion. Funny, right? I know. As a content creator, you see, I don't just work through Polyatomic camos and, you know, use them over multiple videos. I'm not like Xavvo. When I unlock a camo that's like a 3rd mastery or a 4th mastery camo, I tend to want to get all the weapons so I can review them for the video. So in doing so, I've also finished Orion at this point, or I'm going to finish Orion in today's video. So let me just show you literally what's on today's schedule. We've got the Rap H. It's the final LMG in the game. And yeah, I have got to get 15 more headshot kills with this gun, and I'll get the final Polyatomic camo. And by doing this, I'm going to get all 51 Polyatomic camos done to get Orion. So it's pretty straightforward to understand, I think. But yeah, there's going to be a weird overlap with these videos. So it is the 23rd of January today as I'm filming this, so I've unlocked Orion on the 23rd, and also in the Polyatomic video you probably just watched, I talk about how I finished Polyatomic on the 23rd, and, you know, I'll be reviewing all those weapon inspects and whatnot and talking about the grind, and I'll do the same for this. Yeah, so let's just hop into this. Let's not waffle any longer. We're going on shipment, as you know. This is like the meta mode for this game. Shipment has literally expelled? Or excelled. That's the word I was looking for. Yes, it's excelled my progress significantly. And if you remember, I did actually say back in January or December that adding shipment into this game was so good because it was literally just going to make this grind so much easier. And I wasn't lying. I literally said in that video, and I probably already said in my previous video for Polyatomic, that yes, I literally mentioned that this grind could probably take me a month or two to finish at this rate. And here we are, a month later or two, and yeah, it's near the end of January and we've literally got Orion. So ultimately this grind hasn't actually taken way too much time to do. It's been very streamlined, very fun, and yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it because simply it's not asking a lot of you. It's not demanding you to take weeks out of your day just to do a camo grind. It's literally just, hey, do this many headshots, or do this many, you know, do this many hip fires or point blanks. It's very simple. I just like that it's so streamlined, because the fact that it's streamlined makes it more enjoyable overall. You know, people talk about how making a camo grind easy makes it boring, but honestly, it's all about making it easier, and also, whilst also keeping it difficult, you're trying to make it streamlined. So streamlined doesn't make it particularly easier. It just means it's not going to demand as much from you, and it's not going to cause repetition, if that makes sense. Because we all know that a little bit of repetition is good because it helps to get you into a rhythm, and, you know, it allows you to have some familiarity with the camo grind. But ultimately, when you do too much repetition, to the point where it's every single gun is asking you to do 100 camos and level it up 70 levels like you have to do in Vanguard, you know, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's just, it will literally fry your brain. And when it's more simplified, at least, it's not that it's easy, it's just that you don't have the same thing every single time, and you at least get some different rewards from doing it. So yeah, I haven't even been counting, but I'd imagine we'll get it pretty quickly. So I'm guessing we're on like 5 headshots. Let's just assume that 5 headshots so far. So we've got to get 15, as I say. It's very simple. You can get like all of them done in a match. Like, it's so easy. They're really not asking much of you. It's just like, yeah, get some headshots. Yeah, that's simple. Just do 20 or 25 headshots. I will say, though, the worst Polyatomic challenges that you can possibly do in this game are probably the launchers, because for certain weapons like the Strela P, because they have, like, absolutely 0 splash damage, and they literally require you to direct hit the players, they're a lot more annoying for double kills. And, yeah, if you didn't know already, the Polyatomic camo challenge for the launchers in this game is to get double kills. It's very fun with the Joker, because the Joker can easily get double kills or triple kills without even trying. Like, you literally just aim it down one end of the map where you know there's going to be a bunch of people spawning, and bam, it hits like 3 people, because you don't actually have to be in direct sight of the players when the rocket kills them, so you're more likely to get doubles and triples without trying. But like with the RPG, it's bearable. Strela P, it's awful because it's so bad. And then with the Peeler, it's alright. But it's overall just kind of a very annoying challenge to do. We're nearly getting there, I think. We're getting a lot of... Holy shit, we're getting a lot of headshots. This is a really fun LMG to use as well. You've always got to remember to aim higher than you normally would. That's what I tell myself. So when I'm doing headshot challenges, I'm thinking just aim higher. And it sounds dumb because you think, yeah, but you might aim way too high into the air and you're not even hitting the headshot. But like, normally when you hit someone, the first thing you do is just shoot them in like the neck or the chest. But if you tell yourself to aim higher, you might just think you're going to miss the shot, but you really don't. You end up hitting the headshot. So it is kind of like an interesting trick to get your brain into the rhythm of doing. Headshot. There we go. Okay, well, there we go. 51 of them done. 25 headshots. Well, that was very underwhelming. They really didn't show much on screen there, but there you go. That's it. We have polyatomic completely done, so I can now get to the inspects for the polyatomic video that you'll see before this one, and now we've got Orion, so I've got the Orion video to work on, you know, so this is crazy, man. Something they need to definitely do with this game, though, considering I've basically finished the game at this point, I have some feedback. Fix the fucking bugs, please, because one of the big bugs that happens with this game is this happening, where it takes your attachments off, which is why it's a good thing I've saved shit. Because if I hadn't saved a custom mod in the gunsmith, I would have lost all my attachments just then, because it literally strips them all off after finishing your camos.
Oh no!
But as you can see, yes, we have got Orion. Mad! That's mad, bro. Let's go. As well as you've done it on each of the 51 weapons, just like you've done all these other camos on the 51 weapons, for some reason, Orion just unlocks for every gun. So literally, let's just test this theory. Usually, once you actually have unlocked gold or something, this will literally just let you put it on. I'm pretty sure that's how it works anyway, because right here, you can see I can literally start working on the platinum or the polyatomic challenges without actually doing gold. Like, I don't even have to have gold. I can literally go straight to working on this. That's pretty crazy. So Orion will literally just unlock for every single gun, but that's really cool. So anyway, now I'm going to see you guys all in the inspects. So yeah, let's get to the inspects. Let's talk about what was good about this grind and all the sorts. And yeah, just kind of wrapping up Modern Warfare 2. It's kind of weird to wrap this game up. It's not even begun, really, but wrap up at least the experience so far and what's to come and all the sorts. But anyway, let's get to it.
Okay, guys, so much like the polyatomic video, if you haven't watched that yet, be sure to check it out. Actually, it was the previous video to this one, but much like that video, I'm just going to be, you know, narrating over this part, talking about the Orion grind and some other stuff, just, you know, without the webcam or anything that's going to obscure the inspects, because I want you guys to see the full inspects of these weapons. And yeah, so let's just sort of get to a generalized talk about this and talk about some stuff I didn't mention in the polyatomic video. So the first thing I want to say that I think I mentioned in that video is the Orion camo being prestigious. I think that this camo is going to stay prestigious no matter what they do to make the grind easier, because obviously if you think about it, there's a lot of people who are just going to generally avoid doing something like this because it requires you using 51 weapons that you're not going to want to use, or a large majority of them you're not going to want to use anyway. And yeah, and still, regardless of what they do, it's still a camo grind, so it's still going to have that prestige to it. Now, whether or not there's prestige to this grind, no matter how easy they make it, I think a common misconception I'm seeing is people are comparing this to the Obsidian camo from Modern Warfare 2019. And the reason this really bothers me is because they're not the same prestige-wise. They're not the same, because with Obsidian in 2019, you had to get that camo on each individual gun by doing like 100 plus matches where you had to get 15 kills in each of them or something stupid like that. So honestly, Obsidian was a lot more tedious than this, and it wasn't a large spread camo that unlocks automatically for every gun after finishing the polyatomic challenges. So it's a very different system with this camo. This one's a lot more laid back for a fourth camo compared to the Obsidian fourth camo in Modern Warfare 2019. But I do actually want to say, do I think this camo looks better than polyatomic? And I do think it does. In a way, I think it sort of looks more visually appealing. I would say my only main problem with this camo is the fact that it doesn't cover enough of the gun. If you notice, a lot of the areas where it isn't covering, it does have some secondary patterns which look really neat actually, like little stars and galaxy squiggles and all sorts of cool stuff like that, but it's generally not enough in my opinion. I think it needs to be more vibrant. If you're going to, you know, use secondary patterns, you need to do something a bit more vibrant with it, maybe make the camo glow a bit more or make it move a little bit more again. I know they did update this camo to make it move quicker and they did try to brighten it a bit, but I still think it needs probably a little bit more to be even better. But still, as it is, I think it's generally better than polyatomic overall, just because it's not as boring to look look at, you can get this camo out and always think it looks nice. Another problem I have with this camo, though, is in the dark, it is pretty bad. Like, unless, well, actually, I should say in the light. It's really weird to explain, because normally in the dark, you think in the dark you'd be able to see it better, and it does in a way, but, like, what I mean is when there's no light casting onto it, it's very hard to see the Orion camo. If you're on shipment, for example, it practically looks like a black matted galaxy camo. You can barely see the galaxy of it. It's just, they do need to do some updates to it, I think, depending on the lighting, but I do like the glossed over look that it has on the camo, which is really, really cool. So yeah, that's all I really have to say in terms of the actual camo's appearance. It just looks kind of different in different lightings, which is really nice. But now I want to kind of touch upon something I didn't do in the previous video, which I did make a pinned comment about on the polyatomic video, but I have chosen to include it in this video, so I'm sorry I didn't do this in the polyatomic video. But in this video, I've chosen to include the akimbo inspecs for the pistols. In this game, we have akimbo inspecs for every single pistol in the game. In 2019, it was very pick and choose. I think they had them for like the X12 or whatever they called it. I think they called it the X12 in 2019. I can't remember. And I think they had it maybe for the .35 revolver or whatever it was. They did it for a bunch of them, but not all of them. But in this game, all the pistols have akimbo, and I don't know why I didn't do it in the previous video, but in this video I did remember to, so in this video I have included the akimbo inspects as well for the pistols. It's basically the same thing, let's be honest, it's just two of them in your hand instead of one, but I did include it this time, because I've done that with all the previous camo unlock videos I've done on the channel. I have inspected akimbo, so honestly the fact that I forgot to do that is kind of stupid on my behalf, so I do apologize that there wasn't akimbo in the polyatomic video. But anyway, I digress. So, now that I've mentioned that, I think something I didn't really touch upon outside of the Orion or polyatomic grind in the polyatomic video was what I'm going to do next. And that is a good question. Right now, I am probably just going to work through whatever DLCs they have added in the game since release, which is like 4 of them at the moment, and obviously we're waiting on Season 2 to drop. Apparently there's some huge changes coming to Season 2, like actual game-changing changes that are kind of reverting a lot of things back to how people liked them before. You know, stuff they did weirdly with this game that people weren't so fond of. They've reverted some of that, and they've also got a bunch of content coming, so I'm excited for Season 2, but yeah, in terms of DLC, obviously I'm going to work through DLCs. I have to say, though, the M13B challenge is going to drive me up the wall, because I've already tried it to attempt to unlock it multiple times in DMZ, and I just hate DMZ. I'm not a fan of the mode. I don't want to play that mode, but I'm going to have to try until I get it unlocked. So, yeah, I'm kind of just working through DLCs at the moment, but I've also got another thing on my catalogue, and that is the weapon mastery. So, I didn't touch up on this in the polyatomic video because I wanted to keep it for this final camo inspect video for Orion, because Orion is the final camo in this game. So, yeah, am I going to do the weapon mastery? And the question is really, why wouldn't I do it? Because think about it, there is supposed to be a good 2 years on this game's lifespan. We're already about a few months into the game, and I've finished both Polyatomic and Orion. Basically, I've finished it, if you think about it. I've got a bunch of weapons to do, obviously extra, and obviously any extra weapons that come out in the future, I've got to do those as well. But the general base grind is done. So if I've got another 1.5 years to kill, or another 1 year and 9 months to kill, to not do the weapon mastery would kind of be dumb, because I won't really be doing much in the game other than just playing it. So I guess whilst I'm playing it, I might as well do the weapon mastery. And if you don't know what the weapon mastery entails, basically you've got to put on the gold camo, get 100 kills with it, and then you've got to put on the platinum camo, do 150 or something like that. And basically it's a progressive number of kills with each mastery camo on a gun, and you will unlock, as you're going, gold, platinum, polyatomic, and Orion calling cards for that weapon. So you've got to do that on each weapon in the game, and once you've gotten all 4 of the calling cards for a weapon, you will then get a weapon charm to basically signify that you've done 1,000 kills with that weapon. It is a bit dumb to get a charm for 1,000 kills. I mean, that is honestly baffling. But needless to say, I might as well do it, because otherwise I'm going to have not much else to do in terms of grinding or something to keep my mind occupied. So I do think I will be doing the weapon mastery. So yeah, I'll be doing that as I go, but obviously there's no rush. We've got all this time to do it, so I'll probably just take it at a very slow pace, you know, just enjoy it and have fun with the game. So yeah, generally speaking though, Orion has been very, very fun. I do like this camo a lot. Even though it wasn't really much of a grind to get this camo just unlocked from doing all of the polyatomic camos. I still consider this one of the grinds, and it's more chilled and laid back, as I say. It's very enjoyable and whatnot, and yeah, so I did really enjoy it. I do also want to add that you might have noticed in both the polyatomic video and in this video, I have chosen to include the combat knife blueprint variant called the Houndstooth. I don't think there is any other ones in the game that actually change the visual appearance and the texture of a camo on it, but there probably will be more of those coming into the game with battle passes and you name it, so obviously I might include those in future weapon inspect videos. Even though it does look really shit, this camo and the polyatomic camo on this knife, I still chose to include it just to prove my point. But anyway, thank you everyone for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye guys.